Hi people, welcome back to the channel. I welcome new subscribers. How are you? Is the first big question. And I'd love you to leave a comment, let me know how you're doing. Yeah, I'm just going to plow straight in with a collective message that's coming through. And the first card out is the Dark Healing Chamber. The most challenging task is to take courage in both hands and journey within, to meet our own dark self and begin the healing task of bringing love, acceptance, and light to it. The sacred purpose of any enemy within or without is to push us to venture inwards, to seek and heal the darkness within. I've got codependency coming in here. Bear with me. Okay. This is what's leading me to codependency, because if we're talking about the dark healing chamber, we're talking about the soul's connection. We're talking about our connection to soul. And we have to rubble through the darkness to get there, to establish connection. And it can be a lonely old path. It can be a path full of adventure, and a path that is designed to dissolve kind of the connection to the outer world, our connection to need, which keeps us small, need to be validated, need to be heard, to be met. Because when we do that from within, we will no longer seek it from without. Or when we meet its opposite in the external, it just will no longer land, because I often say this to people who are longing for connection. The longing is within, it's the soul. The soul wants to bring us home. Okay. And for that, it has to shatter a lot of illusion, which is why this path is not for the many, it is for the few. Material addiction, I'm getting now. This is not the path to material addiction. This is the path to freedom. Freedom in loneliness. Wandering. Lonely wandering is where we find the gold. And it feels very soulful today. Just, I can't find the words to describe it, but it feels deep soul today. Soul alchemy is how it feels today. Okay, and so what is going to get challenged at the first door is the ego, in many, many different ways. Even insecurity can be egoic projection. I'm not good enough for that. I don't feel safe in that. But you live on a ball of rock hurtling through space. How safe can life truly be, if any of this exists at all? Okay. All right. It's deep. We're going deep. Yes. Ah. Ah. Yes. Wow and wow and wow. I love these cards. I was talking to a friend about these cards. Well, we were working with them together. And these cards and the numerology cards, which I can't find at the moment, are odd because the book doesn't match the card. The card is deeply esoteric. The numerology cards don't even need a book because they're programmed with the Merkaba on one side and the Flower of Life on the other. You just... And the book to this deck, the Mystical Healing deck, doesn't fit the esotericism in this. Why am I telling you that? Because every time I look at these cards, I get different messages. I look at the same card 5 times and get different messages. They're so revealing. So first, we have the word purification here, but what I saw as soon as I looked at it was purge-ification, the purge-ification. Okay, somewhere here screams Scorpio to me. And then I noticed the 8, which is the 8th house. So we're talking about soul contracts and entanglements. Codependency is the entanglement. And so if we're talking soul, we're definitely talking transmutation. And the other soul card that's come out is to ennoble the soul, which is an alchemical transmutative process where we harness the inner pentagram. So for instance, some people transmute with water, so they draw on their water, which in the physical will leave you feeling parched. If you need a signal for how do I know, Chrissy, you'll just feel parched, or your skin will dry out, or your nails will break. It uses the water element. Some use fire, so you might get a sudden body burn or a sudden temperature as the body purges and transmutes. To ennoble, to make noble is to change. It's a scientific term, I believe, to change gas into liquid or liquid into gas, but it's to change the property of something. And so we change the property of a concretized belief. We change the property of a wounding, change the property, because all of that is just energy. And so we're recycling energy, which is a natural process at a cellular level. The cell recycles, rebirths energy. I'm going to go back to this card because it's just stunning. So if we're talking about developing stronger concentric is to go within and walk the labyrinth of the soul. See, my body's responding to that. And when I listen, I follow. That's my inner instruction. Oh, okay. From this point forward, I think there's going to be a turning of the wheel. And it's about sitting in deference to our own magic. So that might look like a pulling away from how much we listen to the without, the out there. So concentric is so many words, bear with me. Soul forge. So what I'm feeling is this squeezing together. It is the faceting of a lump of coal. Okay, the faceting and the ennobling, the changing the property into diamond. The faceted diamond can beam light out and split it. And that needs concentric action, is to keep going within and going within. And where the circles become tight, that's that's emptying the well. It's drilling right down into the well until suddenly it opens up. So it looks like this. It's the occluded point where it squeezes in tight. So, devils and angels, the saint or the sinner. And I might ask, what's your motivation in this? Because if doing soul work is to help another, have a look at that. It's these shadow masks that we wear when all we need to do is hold the light and birth it in the clarity of the one. It's just instant. Doesn't need the thinking, but we go into thinking because that's the matrix in which we live, is to overthink it in case we're judged or persecuted or hunted and strapped to a stake and burned. This is giving me like a cosmic breath. And so it's pulling light in from all directions and pushing it right down to then birth it again. It feels like the breath of the universe. And so there's going to be a great amount of surrender in there. I'll pull some surrender cards. We haven't done those for ages. Yeah, this is like a collective soul calling today. 1910-1. Let's do some surrender cards. I'm being guided to leave those to the end of the reading, which I will do. Okay. So I was just focusing on a question there, which was something like, so for those uninitiated in the soul journey, what might be the first step, or for, well, for anybody really, what might be a first step? And I'm guided to this card. So focus on your blessings. Yeah, okay, that's like a meme or a cliche or an affirmation card. But the challenge with all growth is to challenge the small part of what wants to burst open. And when we focus on blessings, we've got to move into receptivity. We've got to move into receiving the blessings, because the mind might tell us that. The mind might say, yeah, but it's just a pen. But the soul might say, with which you've created poetry, with which you've written love letters to your soul. The blessing of a cup of tea, the blessing of a roof, the blessing of food. Receipt. We can do it all in the mind, which is like the meme version. We can do it at soul level. At soul level, we've got to open the heart. We've got to acknowledge how held we are, how supported we are, how loved we are. Adjust your taste to what you deserve. Taste. And yeah, okay. I'm gonna grab. I'm not, because we're gonna have a collapse here. Hang on. I'm gonna grab some question cards. Adjust your taste. So this is about change your perception of what is a blessing. Because very often it's difficult to see what's right under our nose. Good friends, trusted friends, soul allies, a safe place to rest your head at night. And again, we can do the thanks in the mind. The heart and the soul want to work together to create something visceral that opens. It's the feeling of receiving. I am. Where did I put them? Bear with me. What can we surrender to in receiving blessings? What, me? That's the first thing that comes in. What, me? So this is the courage card. This reminds me of the courage card in the Major Arcana, which talks to pushing your own boundaries, to reaching beyond your container, which might feel scary. Do it anyway. It also might challenge this codependency that's coming in with the revealing of the dark chamber. Because hidden in the dark chamber, the dark healing chamber is transmutation of shadow, yeah, but gold. You hid gold, you hid all your dragon eggs and all your gold in your darkness when you came in. It's all there waiting to be revealed. But the mind can come up with all sorts of excuses. And so having courage to create expansion and change, well, that would just open you up to so much more, to receive more. Your life is calling for you to step into your full power rather than playing it small. That's a good challenge. We'll put that in the middle. Focusing on your blessings might take courage, because that's going to have to challenge the inner saboteur, trickster, liar. Yep. This card is giving me unity and connectivity. Because in the aloneness, you're connected to everything. Everything. Every single flower head, flower petal senses your presence. There's something about expressing love as magic as well. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember, you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. Another great challenge. How can I just be me when I'm worried what that thinks of me? When I'm worried about being, insert words here, human constructs. It can be challenging to bring uniqueness to any collective. Even people who love you, it can be difficult. So what this might expose is where we adapt, the adapted human. So, power and magic, these are good tools. Stop it. That's a big one on the planet. That's a big one. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. But to remove the blocks, we've got to stay present and develop stronger concentration, concentric, walk the maze that's within. I also get with this, the opposite of scarcity is all within you. It's just a belief system. So, is there a question that wants to speak to this? Yeah. Why do I tend to lose my power? Is a great question. It's a great question. Write that down. Where do you tend to lose your power? Is it in trying to be nice? Trying to be, insert words here. And today is a 19 day. Are my feelings in alignment with my behavior? So that's going to expose the pretender, where we pretend it's okay, but inside we might be raging and not reaching into the power of expression. And here we learn to use stronger words and fewer words. So we're talking about alignment. We're talking about power, abundance. This is all from the soul centered. Beautiful. Where am I going now? I'm going here. I know I missed the new moon, but I'd like to personally thank the new moon for bringing us a thunder and torrential rain, which was glorious. It was glorious. Yeah, I went out in it. Okay, are there any other messages that need to come out? Yeah, this one does, for sure. I get the word superficiality, expialidocious with this. Dig deeper and find the ruby. Oh, okay. Screams soul work. I might pull some galactic cards because I'm sensing now there's an actual alignment going on, which is why it all feels quite soul-y and temple-y. What are you? Yeah. Yeah. I'll do that now because this is speaking to new foundation. Building. This is building. We're building. Building. Yeah, okay. I mentioned the moon because I might, in the next few weeks, just miss so much astrology. Okay. So Venus coming in on that 4. I'm going to pull this into the reading. Because Venus is going to go retrograde. Not till next month, I think. But Venus will ask the question, are you sure that's all you're worth? And other questions. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to speak to all of those. Was I going to do? I've lost my way. Okay. Right. So I'm being invited to pull the underlying story because this is what's behind the door. Okay. So we have Uranus, tower energy, something's coming down or being exposed, coming down and being exposed. And in the personal work, it's about tearing down the edifice of our own creation. That's what the personality is there for. The personality projects the parts of ourselves we want other people to see. The soul kind of hides behind that going, liar, liar, pants on fire. It's why I always say, beware people who always smile. Okay. Have we got Saturn going retrograde soon? I believe so. So Saturn's currently in Pisces, bringing structure to spirituality. So we have structure building. What does it mean to be faithful? What have we put our faith in? It's coming in on that 33, the divine blueprint. Okay, it's Christos energy. What have we put our faith in that might be standing in the way of a cleaner, pure blueprint? Wow, got a headache now. So we have the transmutative fire and masculine coming in. Oh, we have Mars and Venus. Aha, we have Mars and Venus coming in, which I believe are both in Leo. And okay, brilliant, thank you. The truth of what I feel may not match my behavior. Oh, it's that card, isn't it? Are my feelings in alignment with my behavior? Okay, so we have Venus and Mars in this section of the story, bringing in the challenge of where have you put your faith, and inviting you to see beneath the surface. That is such a beautiful image. I do like that image. Just stare into this image. I don't want to project what I see onto this particular card. What do you see beneath the surface of that card would be my question. So, how do I know, Chrissy? But how do I know? The body will tell you. Okay. So if we're pretending, it's fine. You feel that somewhere in the body. And so the challenge there is to build connection to the body, to come back in at somatic level. And if we're building a new foundation, what are we building from? Are we building again from the mind that wants? Or are we building from the uniqueness of the self, the soul self? Are we building from that expression of light in the world, that expression of a more encompassing, universal, unified field? We're creating for ourselves, for a unified field. Okay. So I'm thinking story 1 is soul is calling, and focusing on blessings will begin the opening up. Soul is calling. Story 2 is about surrendering to power. Which invites the question, whose power? Which adds to the story, well, what have you put faith in? What have we put faith in as a collective? Oh, so many words coming straight in, but I'm not going there. So we're talking about an alignment of feelings and behavior. We're talking about the alignment of the soul self with the personality projection. Bring those two into harmony, and you only sing one song. Everywhere, with everyone, you only sing one song. Okay, is there another story? Do you want another story? Yes. Okay, story 3, I am very drawn. Oh yes, we're going deep. We're going deep. Okay, right. Shed the shell, but they'll see me. Yep, they will. Shed the shell, and I get an image of a lobster. Bless them. Lobsters go through a very painful process. Well, that's if they have a central nervous system. But they go through a process where they have to outgrow their shell. In order for that to trigger, it's time to break the shell, and they have to break. Oh, God. They have to break their own shell open, leave the shell. Like a snake, when it sheds its skin, it is utterly vulnerable. Crack the cocoon and fly away, or slither, hoping you don't get burnt to a crisp by the sun. Okay. So again, look at these concentric circles following the light in and in and in and in, until something has to give and something has to break. And it might be a belief system, might be a relationship, might be a job, might be anything. As this changes, so too will that unified field. Okay, I'm going over here now. I'm enjoying this. And then roses have thorns. Pain can be the awakener. Is that what it says? Pain can be an awakening call. And it can be the pain of, brilliant, am I birthing my light, or am I birthing someone else's light? I cannot change that which is within me. I can only express it. Or I can keep lying and telling myself it is not so. Good challenges in here. I like these. So this is it's like go on, just have a go. Shed the shell. What is the shell? We have many shells, many masks. If you could name one today, what would that be? Today, Chrissy, I want to let go of. So today, family, I want to let go of sometimes I'm full of shit. I can find an excuse to watch Netflix rather than sit and tune in. I do that. I do that. Where am I going? Okay. Okay, tell me about this. The shell and the thorns. Tell me about the shell and the thorns. I just want to bring something to you. I can't see it now, but I just glanced at that card and I saw like faces, like ghosts from the past. So there might be a message about ancestral lineage. There might also be a message about birthing your own lineage, star lineage. So I just want to bring that to you. One card, thank you. 4, we're building something. So look at the linear truth. Look at the linear truth rather than go round in circles trying to find the words. Sometimes blurt is the only expression. How does this speak to resource? Light as resource, expression of light as resource. Which brings me into the traditional meaning of this card, which is holding on, not letting go. The challenge here is, go on, crack that shell. Because in the unification, you're held on some metaphysical level, in the spiritual plane, you're held. Just might not feel like it because you haven't yet surrendered your belief in scarcity or tapped into your magic. There's a dare. This third reading is a dare. There is a dare in here to let go of physical resource. So Pentacles is physical resource. Well, it can speak to work and play. It can speak to energetic resource. But it might simply be asking you to put a relationship down. It's very revealing. Okay. Well, the underlying card is yours for the taking. Okay. That speaks to counting your blessings wherever that was. Wow, the 4 to the 9, that's a leap. So what happens when I put those two here and keep speaking to this conversation? Is there a question for this conversation? Interesting. And that is speaking to, what have I put my faith in? Got it. Right. We might have put our faith in ancestral poverty, which is a big wound on the planet. Money healing is very worthwhile and very valuable. Healing the money wound, if we're talking about money as resource, and home as resource, food as resource, friends as resource. Look at everything really that constitutes what you draw from. So you've got to go within. That's got to be in the equation. So in this is another dare to look at your assumptions about yourself first, assumptions about other. What else do you want to say to this one? This is the Pope to the priestess. Yeah. Yeah, I've got to bring this in. Because if we're talking about ancestor and we're talking about the Hierophant and the ninth house is in, then we're definitely talking to religious programming. Definitely. But and I love this image because it's brought the feminine into the masculine. What this is talking about is take a step, build the structure, enforce the structure. That might be meditate. Regularly. Feed yourself well. Rest well. Build your foundation to take the next step and to work in there and to work in it and to work in it, to do the concentric circles at each level, staying with it. This is absolute commitment to self. This is the intimacy that everybody craves. I know it's a massive statement, but what it's like that, it's that Rumi proverb, what you seek is seeking you. And generally, a very, very popular craving on the planet is for intimacy or intimate relationship. But this is your primary relationship. Build what you seek in here and it will appear. Why? Because you're the architect and your world mirrors you back to you. Okay. So when my world goes really still, I'm probably watching too much TV. Okay. So we have the Hierophant coming in to guide this. Go on, break your shell. Break your shell. Reveal yourself. Reveal yourself. Walk away. Walk away from any kind of lack or poverty, thinking, shyness, recalcitrance, concretized mind. Oof. And go step by step. Okay. Soul work takes forever. There is no 1 week course. Unlock your soul. Yeah. It's a lifetime's work. It is a way of being. So using temperance to work one step at a time. Soul, sun, soul. Dreams come true. Just not the fake illusionary Disney dreams, what the soul dreams for you, what your heart wants. Oh, there's another story coming out. I could be here all day. I'll do it if it's quick. Okay, I'm going to do it if it's quick. Okay, so that's that one. There's a real challenge. Break the shell. Shed the shell, walk away. Ah, look at that, another transition, 8 to the 9 of Cups. Okay, let's have you then, fella. Right, so we have the Emperor. Who can be calm and methodical, a good builder, or who can be stolid. What does that mean? I don't know. Stolid, stubborn, traditional, recalcitrant, arrogant. Coming in with the Queen of Swords, who cuts like a knife. Okay, clear thought, unafraid to use her own sword. Coming in with the Tower, and we have Uranus in the house. Temperance with this. Temperance. There's yeah. I can see two colors mixing here. Right, lovely, thank you. She's connected to her higher voice. Okay. And she might be about to cause a Tower moment. And her masculine has taken the time, because here we have the Hermit. Take the time to cultivate the light. So you're not just coming through your wands, okay? Because passion can get wrapped up with ego. Creativity, yeah. We're talking creativity and ego. We're talking Leonian, House of Leo. But Leo is loving, warm. Okay, so watch out for impetuosity is what I get with this. And sit and ponder, go hermit. Because as we do that step by step, we cultivate the light at every step and we hold it. And we resist the ego's will to rush. We sit in it. That's what cracks the shell. It's that this is soul forge work, and that's what creates the alchemic pressure to crack the shell. It took him thousands of years of building shell upon shell upon shell. It's like a gobstopper, if anybody is old enough to remember what a gobstopper is. Where did he go? That's going here. Okay, story 4 is going here. With the Hermit. Yep. So sometimes the child is full of challenges. The Queen of Swords might instead defer to mental cruelty, mental anguish, inner conflict, noise. But when she masters her emotions and acts upon them, oh, wow, how beautiful is that? That is the birth of dignity right there. Dignity. Wow, what a circle. What a circle. Okay, I am going to simply leave it there. Take what lands, leave what doesn't. I really welcome your comments. And thank you for your love and your likes and shares and subscribes. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you again.